Welcome to the Caviar and Candy podcast. I'm your host, Paula Conway, and today I'm joined by my colleague, Maya Lubaroff. Maya, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. Today, I want to delve into the best luxury sleep experiences at 30,000 feet. Paula, for many travelers, getting good sleep on a plane feels almost impossible, but I know that luxury airlines have been working a lot to change that. So let's just hop straight into it. What really defines a luxury sleep experience at 30,000 feet?
So I think there's a difference between sleep and real rest. And I think everybody is looking for real rest within their sleep. And this is a very competitive space because the top competitors in this space are really trying to, outdo each other. A luxury sleep experience is always when you have your own suite and you're not rubbing up against anyone else. Whether that is business class or first, because that doesn't really exist in economy or comfort plus, whatever they want to call it. It just doesn't exist. So it's always your own suite. So some sort of encapsulation where you have privacy. You're able to control your lighting with little to no light to disrupt you, because we all know that you need, the recommendation is always blackout space to sleep. And then those luxuries, those little luxuries like fine wine, whatever you like to drink, and really wonderful food selections are key. And overshadowing everything always is service, 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 service. So if the service is there and all of these things are there, that's really how you're going to get a luxury sleep experience.
Some airlines seem to be leading the industry right now when it comes to in-flight sleep. So, which carriers in particular stand out to you right now?
So the real competitors are Emirates, Singapore, Qatar, Etihad, and Air France. It's not to say that others don't have competitive products, but I'm just going to go with the ones that I think are the most competitive right now. So Emirates has been the gold standard. They don't have the largest space, but they've always been the gold standard. The space is fully enclosed, and they were the first to do that. It's a 360 enclosure. Something very interesting is that you can control your personal temperature and your lighting, but the personal temperature is very, very rare to have because the pilot really is controlling the temperature throughout the plane. You have a private mini bar, so if you see behind me, you can see that the mini bar is right here. It's longer than this, but there's soda, there's spirits in here. It's pretty amazing. Oh, and another feature I love is this this light. This is for putting your makeup on. This is like a little vanity, but look, it's got the studio lighting. It's spectacular.
That's so lovely.
Isn't that lovely? Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
it's a large screen. You can see the way they've designed it and the colors, that they've chosen. It's very posh. They also have a Bulgari amenity kit, which is special. So amenity kits are basically, hand lotion and or body lotion, a lip balm, earplugs. It could be a pair of socks in there, a variety of beauty treatments, depending on what the airline is really emphasizing. And then another thing that's particularly interesting about Emirates is that they have an onboard shower spa. So you can take an actual shower while you're flying, and they have a beautiful private lounge that you can most of these first class and business class suites have this. So it's only those passengers that can gather in this lounge area and get snacks, get cocktails, and that's just fantastic. The next one I would say is Singapore. So they have their A380 suites, and those have double beds. So they sort of distinguish suites from A380 suites. So there's first class, which is much like, the examples we're going to give, where you have your own private space, but the double beds are really the feature here. And you have also an armchair recliner that swivels fully. and it's made of full grain leather. So it feels very posh, it's very upscale. And then of course the Bang& Olufsen noise canceling headphones are just, like considered among many to be the best. Your food is served on Wedgwood china. All of them are serving on china, but I think the Wedgwood, being such a legacy brand, is pretty spectacular. And you have Lalique themed amenity kits. I would say the next one is Qatar. So they have something called the Q suites, and you can get a single, a twin, a double, or a quad. The single is just like it sounds. It's a smaller, private, enclosed space. The twin has a small lounging chair in it, so it's bigger. And then the double, which is side by side, so you and your, whoever's flying with you, be that husband, wife, partner, friend, business manager, colleague, you can do work sitting next to each other. And then they have the quad. So that's really nice for couples or families because two people are facing each other. And so it's kind of, I would say, it's like when I say facing each other, instead of like you and I are here side by side, um, I'm here and you're over here.
Oh,
And
that's really nice.
and it's open between us so we can see each other, look at each other. We're going to have like a full conversation while we're eating, without turning our heads, which is really amazing. And then you have Etihad has the residence. So I remember when this came out, it was such a big deal. So in most of these first classes, you have a private chauffeur from home or hotel to the airport and back. That's very standard. So it starts with that, and then business and first lounge. So all of them have business and first lounge, all of them, and it's just for like would not have economy or comfort plus whatever passengers in there, where you can get a spa treatment in the relaxed spa. So they hold a spa treatment time for you. You have a private bathroom. You have an ensuite shower on board, and you have a living room area, which is special. So it's very separated, like a little like a bedroom and a living room would be. So you feel like you're at home. And I think that that's another point about like how do you actually rest? And the more you feel at home, the more you're going to rest. And then Air France just launched the new La Première, and they call it new La Première because they have a La Première that's not new. Again, you have the private driver door to door. At Paris Charles de Gaulle, you'll be escorted into a private check-in lounge. And then La Première Lounge you can opt for a private suite. So it's just like your own living room or your own hotel room while you're waiting for your flight. And this is available. This is one thing that I think is a bit of a wrinkle. You will have an extra charge if you want that. But given what you're paying for these flights, I guess it's really not a big deal. Also, Chef Alain Ducasse, who's famous Michelin-starred chef, is making the food in the La Première Lounge. And then let's talk about in-flight. So you have extra long lie flat beds and a lounge area, again, in flight, fully enclosed by curtains. I don't know that there is any other airline that does the curtains. I think this is very smart. It's an electric kind of a curtain. Cotton comfort wear by a French designer, Jacquemus. And I think the cotton is important because even if we're going to talk a little bit about Air India, they have the Timu lounge set. But I think saying that it's fully cotton is very interesting because it's that much more comfortable. And then the Sisley skincare amenity kit and the Denon noise canceling headsets again. I bring Air India into this because their business class on their A350 is their first class. So you're going to see a lot of airlines doing that where they're only going to offer up to what they're going to call business class, but that's really designed so that corporations can justify first class. And their business class is and many are competitive with first class. Theirs is particularly competitive because you have a private suite, you have a wardrobe standard in these. You have electric blackout blinds, so you just press buttons and the blinds just
That's
come
so
down.
nice.
It is. It's like it's such a special touch. Um, Storage for shoes is a thing that you see in all of these. You want to take your whatever boots, shoes, sneakers you're wearing, you want to take them off and you want to set them to the side. They also have meals and snacks anytime. I think that's pretty standard in all of these. If you decide in the other ones, not in this one, but if you decide you want caviar, creme fraiche, and blinis, they don't care. They're going to bring it to you, particularly the ones before this example. They have Laurent Perrier champagne, Saint-Emilion Bordeaux, and this is an interesting thing. The salt shaker in the Air India business class, and this is just one of their interesting touches, is in the shape of a collectible Indian tiffin box. So those are those multi-tiered boxes that they use to transport meals. Or so if you take your lunch with you to work, it's this multi-tiered tiffin box. Anyway, it looks like a very traditional tiffin box and it's gorgeous. It's just beautiful. And it's just a special touch. It's like one of those things that you don't forget. And a Ferragamo amenity kit, which you can't go wrong with that.
Those sound amazing, and I've heard a lot of wonderful things about all of these airlines. When you fly long haul yourself, what is the very first thing you look for if you're hoping to get a good night's sleep on board?
So anything to me that's like 5 hours or over, I want a lie flat bed. There's just no way to rest your body if you're not lying flat. People do it all the time, but I just won't. So number one is that lie flat bed, very thick mattress and great blanket. So let me explain that I think all of the examples I've given, including Air India, they will make up your bed for you. It's their turn down service. But here's an interesting wrinkle. Your seat in most of these cases is your bed, not in all of them, but in many of these cases, that's your bed. So if your seat is really well worn, you can imagine that is not a very thick, comfortable mattress because people are sitting in them for every flight. So a very thick mattress, great blankets to snuggle in with, luxury sleepwear. You want to, most of us who fly first or business will want to change. We just don't want to feel constricted unless you're wearing something that's very, in-flight lounge, like wear, which is a popular thing too. And then it's just like the great food. Great food. That's what I look for.
That's really all it is about, but that's amazing. So let's kind of talk about those small details. What are some of the unexpected touches airlines provide that you feel really elevate the sleep experience on board?
So I think it's always service. Service and kindness have to lead in every experience on board when you that really has to lead whether any class of service, right? But certainly if you're paying $10,000 each way, for example, and these range in price depending on where you're going, it could be up to $40,000 to $50,000 each way. The service has to be top level. If I have a 16-hour flight, it has to consistently be top level for 16 hours, which obviously they have shift changes. But things like turn down service, they make your bed. That is a really special element that elevates your experience. And coming frequently with snacks makes you feel important and tended to. So in Emirates, for example, they'll just show up with cookies. They'll just show up with cheese and crackers. They'll some with some brie and some crackers. They'll just show up with these things while you're flying, as long as your do not disturb isn't on. When you really want to sleep, you put your do not disturb on, and they know not to stop by. But they'll stop by with that caviar, with champagne. I think that's wonderful. And people feel tended to. Again, it's that extra layer.
It's always important to go the extra mile, I feel like. And I know we already kind of touched on this, but how much do you believe that the service component matters? Do you think it's about the luxury seat, the first class, the business class, or does the cabin crew play a role in helping passengers sleep well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everything. Yes, they do. You want to feel confident. Flying can be stressful, and it typically is for all of us. Some people are afraid to fly, but they have to for business, whether it's first or business. Turbulence will make people feel uncomfortable. Being trapped inside a fuselage will make people feel uncomfortable. If the person who's serving you, and it is a service industry, if the people on board are making eye contact, connecting with you, getting to know you, saying, Miss Conway, Miss Lubaroff, would you like this? Would you like that? And learning what you like. I love cookies. So when I flew Air India, and I love snacks, they were always stopping by and say, would you like some more caramel corn? Would you like some more, cashews?
It makes you feel noticed and it makes you feel like you're an important part of the experience rather than kind of just another number.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so it leads, no matter what class of service you're in, but certainly in these for the ticket. Yeah, that leads.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Caviar and Candy podcast, exploring what is the best in class, who are the best in class at 30,000 feet for airline sleep experiences. Join right here for more episodes of luxury travel and lifestyle, and follow me on Instagram at Paula Conway NYC. We'll see you soon.